and it's great to have you here today for our Lunch and Learn series. In the fall, we've been trying some virtual programming, and we thought that it'd be a great opportunity for our alumni community to meet our alumni board. And so that's who we have today, is a few of them with us. And so I'm just going to give you a little overview of the session. They're going to start off by each introducing themselves, give you a little overview of what the alumni board does on campus, and then we'll open it up for questions. And we're going to use the feature, the chat feature. So if you have questions, you can certainly place them there. However, if you're comfortable asking your question, you can certainly raise your hand and we will unmute you to speak to the group. So we're hoping to have a fun, casual conversation, a little get to know you, and also to gather ideas from our community. I should mention that this webinar is being recorded. It's going to be available for alums that were not able to join us today. And so anything you post in the chat or questions you ask will be recorded, just a reminder. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nibal to get us started.
Great, thank you, Megan. And thanks everyone for joining us. We're really excited to do this. We've been planning it for a while, so this is new and different for us, but hopefully we can have some fun, get to know some of our alumni through the process. So Nibal Awad, class of 2012. I'm currently serving as president of the Alumni Board. This is my first term. Just really excited to be a part of the group. I know we're supposed to kind of touch on involvement at RW as a student. I think we'd be here all day if I were to go through all of it. So I will just mention some of the things that were really near and dear to my heart while I was at Roger. I served as class president for 2 years, and then served as chair of the interclass council, which I really enjoyed for the final 2 years. I was heavily involved there. I served as a resident assistant for 3 years. And I also really enjoyed my time in the Career Center as a peer advisor and also as a work studies student, among some other things. So those are kind of the 3 that really stick out to me that I had a lot of fun doing. And I think what we'll see throughout this conversation is a lot of our board members are folks who were really involved in their undergrad experience. So it's really fun that we can continue to serve in this position. I'll throw it over to our other members to do some self-introductions as well. We do Teresa and Kelly next.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Teresa Agonia, class of 2013. I was a media communications graduate with a focus in public relations. During my time at Roger Williams, I think the piece that sticks out to me the most was serving as a Bridge to Success mentor through the Intercultural Center. So for 3 years, I was working with students in urban cities like the city where I grew up, and really serving as a mentor and tutor for them in homework, but also really just in life. And I think it was just so relatable for me because it was very much the experience that I went through growing up. So that was a big piece of my journey at Roger Williams. And then also I was part of the Public Relations Student Society of America, and very involved with all PR activities on campus, which I really enjoyed, and ended my senior year serving as vice president of the organization, which was really meaningful to me. And especially now in my job working for the Mayor of Providence, I still connect with the organization, bring on interns to serve the city, and really just stay connected with the students on campus. So that's a bit about me, and I'll kick it over to Kelly.
Hi, everybody. It wouldn't be 2020 if I didn't have my dog accompanying me on the Zoom. If I don't hold her, she's going to bark, so my apologies. This is Phoebe. She did not attend Roger Williams, but I did. I am the class of 1999, and I was involved in, I was the editor of the newspaper. It was called the Hawk's Eye back then. Today, it's the Hawks Herald. I was the co-chair of Campus Entertainment Network. 2 more things. I was had my own radio show, Kelly in the Morning. I got up at 6 a.m., which was crazy but fun, WQRI. But what was really life-changing and the most meaningful for me is was being a student athlete. So I played volleyball and attempted to play softball for a season. So Roger to me is really important. And one of my roles as vice president is to really build the bridge for the current students to know who we are, and that we have a lot of similarities. We know what it's like driving down 136. We know what it's like to go to Aiden's. You know, we know all those things. We know the buildings. And So I think that's something that's really important to this board, is to really connect the current with the others that we, So that's me, and Phoebe was quiet, so that's good. So I'll turn it back over to either Nibal or Megan. Or Chip.
Yeah, I'm also going to ask Chip and Ziad, if you're here with us, to also do introductions, if that's okay.
All right, thank you, Nibal. I'm Chip Craig. I am the past president of the Alumni Association, and still staying on in an advisory role. I've been connected with the university since graduating back in 1994. I know I'm dating myself. I might be the oldest alum, perhaps, on this call. But Roger Williams is very meaningful for me. I graduated in corporate communications and marketing with a minor in computers. I would say back then, Roger Williams was a lot different than it is now. But the community and the affinity that the students had to the school still remains very strong as it was back then. Probably the most meaningful aspects that I remember back on campus was I did 2 internships, paid internships on campus, working for the university public relations department, and wrote some articles for The Bridge, which was used to be the magazine that the university put out. And one thing that was really interesting is when I started Roger Williams as a freshman, it was Roger Williams College. And at the end of my sophomore year, it transitioned to Roger Williams University. And so I started out as a college student and graduated with a university diploma. So that was an extra bonus that we received along the way. But as you can see, I'm still very much involved in Roger Williams, and still will continue to be part of it as we go forward. So glad to have everyone on today.
Hey everyone. Sorry, my camera is not working on my computer. It keeps crashing, so you'll just have to see my picture. I'm Ziad Achkar. I'm a graduate of the class of 2012 with Nibal as well. Let's see, I was involved like everybody else here on this call. I was on the student senate. I was on the interclass council. I was an orientation advisor. But my favorite time, I think, at Roger Williams was I was for 2 years the president of our Model United Nation team, Model UN, which is now, I guess, called the International Relations Organization. And as a political science and international relations major, it was really a great opportunity for me to learn more about the opportunities and the field that I wanted to go into, be able to travel around the US and in some cases internationally to represent the school. And it really helped build a network for me that then helped me find a job and internships and led me to where I am today. So I'm glad to be on this call and see so many of you as well.
Great, thanks, Ziad. So we want to take this opportunity to let you know a little bit about the Alumni Board's function and how it supports the university, but most importantly, have a conversation about what's most important for you and to ask questions. So the Alumni Board really serves as an advisory group. It works in conjunction with the school's leadership in terms of different priorities that they've set for that year. And obviously, as an alumni board and working very closely with the alumni office with Megan and her team, we want to provide engagement opportunities for our alumni. So they're involved and a part of the everyday life of our school. Some of the ways we do that, a little different this year, clearly with everything going on. You'll see a lot more digital events like this, but traditionally things like reunions and networking receptions across the country. This is the nice part about technology, hoping that we can connect more students and alumni, regardless of where they are in the world and where they are in life. So, but hopefully the return of in-person events will happen sooner rather than later. Some really exciting partnerships we have across campus. We work really closely with the admissions office in working with events when we're talking to prospective families. There's nothing like talking to an alumnus who has already had the RW experience and being able to connect with families and students. So if you ever have an opportunity to serve at one of those events, I highly recommend it. It's really, really fun talking to high school students and helping them hopefully make a decision about whether or not to come. Those happen regularly across throughout the year. One thing that's been really exciting is our strengthened relationship with the Center for Career and Professional Development. We get to, as alumni, participate in events where we're mentoring and providing career development advice to current students at Roger Williams. I know a couple of us on the board, as well as myself, got to participate in internship mentoring sessions where we literally got to talk to a whole cohort of students who are preparing to do their internships, hopefully this spring and summer. So it's really fun connecting with them and being able to provide some input and advice on your industry and what your experience was like. There's also mock trial interviews that we participate in. So that's really fun. I think it's probably one of the greatest ways alums can kind of share their experience and talents with our current students. Other than that, we really just plug into having a voice at the table when it comes to the university, discussing priorities for the future and strategic planning. As alumni, unlike other members of our school community, we've already experienced what it's like to be at Roger Williams and partnered with our experience out in, the real world and being able to talk to where we are in life in terms of our industries and where they're heading. The alumni voice is very critical and important as part of university planning. So as an alumni board, we're always here to encourage you to come to events, talk to leadership. Your voice matters. It's really important in planning. And it's a really, really important aspect of any university to have a really strong alumni presence. And we hope we can encourage that in our current roles. So that's kind of a quick overview of what we do as an alumni board. That's a lot and it's really packed. So this year, we really wanted to focus on 3 major priorities that we set at the beginning of the school year. And one of those priorities that Kelly already referenced was student engagement. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. When I was a current student, the last thing I was thinking about was what my role was going to be like as an alumnus. So what our hope is to really just become a regular voice and really having more of an alumni presence throughout the student experience so that when students graduate, they understand that there's thousands and thousands of Roger Williams alumni who are here to support them, and they're across the country, and we want to engage with them professionally, socially, and really strengthen our alumni network. So just being present and available to our current students is very important. The other one naturally is increased alumni engagement, which I kind of spoke to already, but definitely plugging into focusing really into affinity groups and how do we engage alums based on their talents and interests. There's always a way to get involved with Roger Williams. So we want to be able to provide as many opportunities and avenues for our alumni to do that. And the last one is probably one of the most important is our reunion giving program and really engaging our alumni in the philanthropic priorities of the university. It's really important for our alums to serve with their time and with their skills and their talents, and most importantly with their philanthropic support, so that we can continue to support the financial health of our university and make sure that it's here for years and years to come. And one of the most important aspects of that is alumni participation, no matter what the giving level is. So we are really focusing on how we can educate our alumni body on the importance of giving back. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. What we're hoping to do now is kind of take some questions, and I think we had some questions lined up that came in advance. So I'm actually gonna throw it over to Megan, hopefully to moderate some of these questions, and we can take some of yours too. Please don't hesitate to throw those in the chat box.
Great, thanks, Nibal. And so I'll start off with a question that anyone and everyone can answer. So it relates to, why did you choose to serve on the alumni board? And let's see, I will start with Kelly.
I just love this school. I just, there, you know, everything I think about in my life, I learned from Roger and I learned at Roger. I was able to succeed there. I was able to have some failures and grow from them. I was able to utilize everything around me, and people were always allowing me to be my best self. And so when I look back, you know, my best friends have come from there, and it just feels like home to me. And if I can give something back in return of what I got from the institution, then I want to do that. And I want to make sure that current students know everything that's available to them, not just on campus, but this huge network of individuals that have been in their shoes prior to them. And any way we can connect them, I want to make sure we do that, because I want Roger connection to be huge across the country. I want, if you know a Roger student who graduated, we connect with them and lift them up. And we're a young school. So I think now is a great time to really invest, and it's not as big of a task as maybe a school that's much older, to reach back into the alums and see how we can connect past, present, and hopefully the future. So I just love this school.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to go next? See, Teresa.
I'll jump in. So I similarly loved Roger Williams and was really sad to graduate and leave my friends. But for me, I also think that I wanted to get involved because, I mean, like our democracy, nothing is perfect, and it's our responsibility to engage and make it better. And as the daughter of immigrants, I struggled a bit on campus with some of my upbringing not necessarily aligning with the experiences of everyone on campus. And so I felt like it was also my responsibility to step up and make sure that I could be a voice for people who had similar experiences. And I think that's been so enriching for me, and it's a way that I can hold myself accountable to wanting to see change that I want to see, but also like challenge myself to be a part of that. And it's been awesome to be on the board and have the university be open to those kind of conversations and that kind of reform that really centers the experiences of our students, no matter how different they are.
Great. And it looks like Chip wants to say something. So I'm going to call on him.
Well, you know, I will say something, but I wasn't like I was eager, ready to jump in. I think that you're going to see and hear a common thread here. And this is not fabricated in any way. I believe that everyone on this board has a really high affinity to the school and has had a wonderful experience in their own way at Roger Williams. And I think what's happened where we've become involved, it's kind of taken our relationship with Roger to another level. You know, it's great to see the advancement of the school. It's great to engage with the students that are either young alums or students that are still in school. We're doing a lot of things relating to mentorship programs. There was a wonderful mentorship program that ran over the summer. And I think the timing of that mentorship program for existing students could not have been more perfect based on the conditions that we currently live in. And I had 3 mentees that I was working with who all were students. And one was graduating in December, and one, I believe, was coming back in the spring semester to complete their work. So they were all at different stages, but they all had questions similar in the sense that they were unsure what they were going to do next. And to have a connection with alumni and some affiliation was wonderful. So I think that if you're listening and you're not sure how you want to get involved or how much time you have to dedicate, you basically can write your own ticket. You can figure out what works best for you. It can be a very minimal engagement, and then maybe grow over time, or if you have a specific skill set that you want to contribute right away, that is also possible too. On behalf of everybody here, I think that you're going to hear a common theme that everybody loves Roger Williams.
Great. Thanks, Chip. And I see Ziad has his hand up. Did you want to go next?
Yeah, hi. Again, echoing everybody, I think for me, it comes from the fact that, again, I love the school. I'm grateful for the opportunities that the school has provided for me. I would not be in the US had it not been for Roger Williams to begin with. And so I see the opportunity to serve as a board member as a way to give back to the school, but also to the students who are there, to the faculty that supported me. And, you know, one of the things that I'm particularly keen on is to expand the reach of Roger Williams internationally, whether it's recruiting international students to our campus, which is, you know, a little bit tough these days, but also expanding, you know, the name of the school. And one of the things that I think as a board member that I've enjoyed to do over the last few years is to connect with existing students and existing faculty and finding opportunities for them to be involved, and how I can be that connection for many, you know, undergraduate students.
Great. Thank you. And then at this time, I'm actually going to introduce another board member, Lindsey Gumb, who joined us a little bit later, but she's going to introduce herself and answer the question for us. Lindsey?
Thanks, Megan. My apologies for popping in a little late. My name is Lindsey Gumb, and I'm class of 09. And like you all, like Chip said, that common thread, I love Roger. I love it so much that I went back and I've been working there for almost 8 years now. So I work in the library and serve as a faculty member. And for me, my motivation to join and serve the board, in addition to my love for the school, is helping the board make connections with the community that is at Roger today. It's very different than when we were all there, and it continues to evolve. So I really, you know, would love to serve as that conduit between the past and present, and to help us all kind of align our goals together.
Great. Thank you. And then I'll end with Nibal.
Everyone pretty much summed it up. I think just, yeah, a deep, deep desire and love to give back. I mean, you know, the 4 years at Roger Williams were just it was just such a wonderful experience. And I think the people, you know, the people really made it, whether it was classmates, the faculty, the staff. It was just an incredible place to be. And, you know, I just feel like a sense of responsibility to give back any way that I can. It's given me so much in terms of my own professional development and support that I received there. So it just feels natural that, you know, I can spend some time doing what I can to help further the institution so that it can impact even more students in a positive way.
Great. Thank you. So one of the next questions is a little bit of a reminiscing question. So if you think back to your days at Roger, can you share with us one of your favorite memories? And I guess I'll go in the same order. So Kelly, do you want to start?
One that is PC friendly, I would assume that you're looking for.
Yes, we're recording.
Yes. No, I mean, honestly, some of my favorite memories were my road trips with my my teammates, going to and from games, and just spending that time with them, getting to know them beyond classwork. And I think it really led me to develop some of my best friendships, which, matter of fact, they keep texting me saying, how come they didn't jump on this, which they should have. Yeah, some of my best memories are really just walking down to the gym from Cedar Hall freshman year on the 2nd floor, which some of you may have lived there, and just walking all the way across campus to the rec center. Just small, the little things that really actually become the big things. So.
Great. And then Teresa.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, similar with Kelly, I'll keep it PG, but like the parties on Fridays and Saturdays were great in Bayside. And I met so many amazing people my sophomore year through senior year in particular, and still have gone to so many weddings. I went last year to a wedding in Italy and Ireland for my friends from Roger Williams, and just staying connected with the people that I've met, I think have just been, they were the best experiences and continue to add to my experience in my life.
Great. Chip.
All right, so I too will keep it PG. So I would say that the two main things stuck out for me. One is that there was a lot of things happening on campus when I was there. There was a lot of changes taking place, buildings going up. You know, they built the library while I was there, and the law school. So there was a lot of programs becoming adapted and changed. So a lot of intramurals were becoming born at that time. So it was starting to shape the future of Roger Williams, and it pales. When I was there, it pales in comparison to what's available there now. So I'm really glad to see it evolved and accelerated tremendously through the years. But one of the things that was fun for us was we created a whole bunch of intramural sports that didn't exist before. So a lot of us, like myself, I was a lacrosse player, but my father said that, hey, your professional lacrosse playing is over and you have to focus on classes and school, and, you can't just, do what you did in high school. So we created a intramural lacrosse program. So we could still play lacrosse, but we didn't have to provide that large commitment and potentially have it affect our grades in a negative way. So we shaped a lot of things at Roger Williams, but the second thing that really sticks with me the most is, and a couple of you have already touched on this, lifelong friends. There are people that I met at Roger Williams that I still talk to on a regular basis today. And when we talk and we connect, it seems like you're back on campus and you're back, living the Roger Williams life, even though it's, I'll kind of pause here, even though it's approaching 30 something years. So it's something that has a profound effect that you carry through your whole life. So for those of you that are either students watching or someone who had just graduated, you're going to see 30 years from now that you're going to be still connected to people that you met at Roger Williams.
Great. I see Z.
Yeah, again, echoing, I think everybody, lifelong friendships is probably one of the best memories and the best things that came out of Roger. But a specific thing that I've always used to love is late night breakfast at Roger Williams. The night before finals and just everybody being in the commons, for those of us who had the commons, and just it was always kind of a nice evening where everybody had been studying all day or getting ready for finals and just enjoying nice breakfast being served by different student orgs and different members of the staff and faculty. And it was a nice event that brought everybody together, kind of an end of semester celebration that I've always found to be kind of a nice way to finish an academic semester.
I know, for sure. And unfortunately, with COVID right now, there were modifications to that, but I think they're trying their best to come together as a community around those type of traditions. So next, I'll go to Lindsey.
Yeah, so many of similar experiences. Chameleon Club, if anyone remembers that, which is now no longer.
I believe my class ruined that for everyone.
Oh, thanks,
so
Bob.
Ziad and I will take
Probably for safety of the students. Yeah, my friends and I used to love those. And I think for me, it was just the semester where I really met all of my close friends that are still with me today. It was kind of like a moment that clicked. I was like, okay, this is what college is about, finding your people. And that didn't happen for me right away. It took a year to really find my core group. but you know, the wait was worth it. And those are the memories that I'll always kind of remember.
Wonderful. And I'll go to you, Nibal, to close it out.
All right, I'll keep all mine PG. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it was such a blast. I mean, the best part of college, obviously, is hanging out with your friends and all the late nights. You know, Z said food. Of course, I instantly thought of like lobster and steak night, which I know we try to replicate during reunion weekend. That was always a blast, and it always landed somewhere around my birthday, so it just felt like an extra treat. And then I would probably say commencement ball was just super, super fun. I mean, Ziad and I had, we were on ICC, so we got to help with all of that planning. So to see it come together and just all of our classmates having fun was a total blast and worth all the work. I gotta say my most like recent memory though, and something I really, really enjoyed was serving on our 5th reunion committee. We had so much fun planning that, and the weekend was just a huge success. We had so many of our classmates come back, and it was like it was college all over again, and it was just so much fun. And so I'm really looking forward to our 10th. I'm hoping we can do it even bigger, and it was a blast.
Great. And so I have a few more questions, but I just wanted to remind the audience that if you do have questions, you can put them in the chat. And then after the next one, I will see if anyone wants to raise their hand, or raise your hand in the meantime, then I'll know that you have a question. So this one is about, you can answer it 2 ways. What makes you most proud to be a Roger Williams alum, or what are you most proud of at Roger? Maybe something that they're doing now, or just something that, you know, in the tradition of the Roger Williams way, that really makes you proud to be an alum of the institution. So I go to Kelly first.
Yeah, so I've worked in higher education now for the past 17 plus years, and higher ed is changing, and especially with COVID now, it's bringing everything to the forefront of how much higher ed is changing, and how do we do that. And I'm really proud to see the leadership at Roger with the new president and his cabinet, that they are not afraid to think outside the box and know that, you know, as higher ed changes, schools have to change while still maintaining the history of the institution. And so what I'm really excited about is that Roger and the leadership that's there right now isn't just words, that they're saying, hey, alumni matters, but now they're actually having action with that, bringing us into conversations, getting our input, hearing us. And it's really been a wonderful experience. And I think, you know, there's still a long ways to go, because navigating higher ed is challenging right now, especially at a school of Roger Williams' size. But to see that the thought and care going into how to take care of our students and prepare them for what's next, not just what we've always done, but how can we make it better and adapt to what life is like today, and drawing on our experiences to pull that in, to not forget about the past. I think it's a really exciting time for Roger, even though the navigation looks a little murky right now for everybody. I think when we get to the other side of it, Roger is going to be one of those institutions that's going to be rock solid. So it's an exciting time to be a part of it, I think, and feel.
Great.
I think for me, if I had to only choose one, I would say the school's focus on global experiences. Our study abroad program is phenomenal, and I always dreamt of going to Australia, and then I actually had the opportunity to live there for 5 months, and I will never ever get an experience like that. And it was the school really urging students to think about global experiences, and that emphasis that pushed me outside of my comfort zone and pushed my family into like allowing me to go. So, I mean, that for me, I think is just so important, because the world is really so small, and to have that opportunity, like I will never, ever have something like that ever again. And I'm so thankful to Roger Williams for that.
All right, so what makes me most proud of being a Roger Williams alum? I would say that I'm going to pull from something that the late Dr. Farish used to say, and that was he wanted to instill in all the students and the alums that when you're out in the communities, you would want a Roger Williams alum to be your next door neighbor. And that speaks volumes, because what Roger Williams is all about is shaping young men and women to be inclusive, to be caring, to be contributors to society and communities that they're involved in, and not just be passive, but be active in their communities. And every Roger Williams alum and student that I've come in contact does have that characteristic. They have that mindset, and there is a sense of community within the school and and out in the world, and it's a wonderful thing to see. So that makes me proud to be part of that organization. And what's interesting is you never see it when you're in it. When you're on campus, you don't really have that viewpoint. It's only when you're out and you're looking back does it really become a reality. So for those of you that are in school right now, you've got something special around you. And as many others had said on this call already, take advantage of the things around you, get involved, contribute where you can. That will only make your experience that much more important and experiential. So yeah, it's hard to put into words, but when you say the words Roger Williams, it just brings a certain feeling to you that is very positive.
Thanks, Chip. Z or Lindsay, I didn't see your hand up, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, my bad. I must have taken it down.
That's okay.
I think everybody touched upon it. I think one of the things I'm constantly incredibly proud of is just as an alum, looking at fellow alums and seeing what they've achieved. I'm 8 years out of being a college student, Roger Williams, but seeing some of my colleagues have done incredibly well for themselves, giving back to their own communities, serving, in different posts in the U.S. government or for international organizations. It's incredibly wonderful to see, and it truly shows you the education and the impact that so many of us have gotten from Roger Williams, set us on a path of success, and I can only hope that we continue on that trajectory.
Thank you. And Lindsay?
Yeah, I think the two things that I am most proud of right now as an alum and as a current employee is Roger Williams' response to the pandemic has been incredible. They have done such a great job of coordinating testing for everyone in our community. Students, faculty, and staff get tested twice a week, and it's just been like outstanding. I have a lot of friends in higher ed across the country, and chatting with them and just seeing the stark differences that we were able to stay open all semester has been, I would have never thought that the first week in September. We were all taking bets like how many days until the campus closed. But the administration, the faculty who have put in countless hours to engage their students online has just been like really heartwarming. And along with that, the other thing I'm super proud of is the university's equity action plan that we are all working really hard to implement right now. Every department is working together across campus, and seeing the administration's commitment to hiring a chief diversity officer since ours, Ame Lambert just left. That's really encouraging and obviously necessary. So those are the two things that I'm really proud of.
Great.
Yeah, and it's really hard going last here. But I would echo what Lindsay just said, and everyone else. I mean, there's so much pride. I think Roger Williams is definitely one of those institutions where when they say they're really committed to service and being a global, I think global citizenship, I just think is just such a consistent theme at Roger Williams. And you see it in the classroom, and you see it with the amount, and I know Ziad touched on this, but the amount of service work that our students do year to year, it's incredible to see at the end how big of an impact they've had on the local community, but also beyond, to see everything from, you know, some of the, you know, historical preservation projects that they've completed, to our education majors being in the classrooms across the state and the impact that they're having there, up to our, you know, our law students and our law alumni, and seeing the incredible, you know, historic work that they're doing. So it's just a wonderful organization that, you know, walks the walk. I mean, I think we've just been so committed to giving back and doing great things. It's more of a place where it's more than just a place where you learn. It's really a place that you're putting your education into action immediately. And I think you get that sense the minute you step on campus as a freshman in Community Connections. I think it just totally sets the tone for the next 4 years. So I think that's just definitely unique, and it's some place to be really proud of.
Thank you. I know all of your answers just remind me of all the reasons I love being here as well. It's true. It's a true community. So
can I add one more thing?
Sure,
I
of
just want
course.
to add one more thing, and I think it's important to know that it's not always, you know, pink fuzzies and rainbows too. And I think that's something that the institution is really great at, is taking on challenges and questions head on, right? Is that not every student might have the experience that we have on this call, and they recognize that, we recognize that. So part of our job is to ensure that we hear from those people that how can we make Roger better for them and their experience. And, you know, there's a welcome to hearing that from, again, the administration. So, you know, I think that is also important to mention as well.
Definitely. Thank you, Kelly, for that. We definitely are here representing all alumni, which is one of the reasons we want to do today's session, to kind of get the word out on what we do, what we're here for. So definitely reach out at any time. I don't see any questions in the chat, and I don't see anyone's hand up. Excuse me. But one of the questions I will end with is, if you're an alum listening to this live or later, how do I get involved? And I don't know if Nibal wants to take that question.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think the best way to do it is, other than contacting the alumni office directly, but reaching out to any alumni board member. Our names are listed on the website. We love talking to alums who are looking for avenues and ways to give back. One thing we're really committed to this year is definitely growing the alumni board and looking for prospective members to join our board. You know, we're really focused on having a diverse group of voices at the table with different experiences and backgrounds. To Kelly's point earlier, we're committed to hearing every voice. Not everyone's experience was the same, but another one of our responsibilities as alumni is to make sure it's better for the next group of students. And we can only do that is if we have all of those experiences at the table. So we encourage you to reach out to us, get to know us a little better so we can get to know you a little better, and hopefully we can engage you in a certain area of our campus. So yeah, I think it's pretty easy, but yeah, we definitely encourage you to jump on the website and learn more about some of the different opportunities that are being offered.
Great. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for all of our board members for joining today. It's been a great session. It always makes me incredibly proud to serve you and to be a part of this community. It's really, the accomplishments of our students and our alums really do make up what and who is Roger Williams. And so it's always wonderful to see everyone's faces and hear from you. And so just a quick reminder about some upcoming alumni events. If you can keep an eye out for our December, we have a holiday virtual wine tasting on the 9th. And there's also a lunch and learn with the Career Center in December, which is open to all alumni. And like I mentioned earlier, you're welcome to reach out to the alumni office at any time, also the alumni board, but we're really here to help one another. And I hope that in the upcoming weeks, you and your family remain safe and healthy. And also happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I know it looks a little different this year, but stay safe. And with that, I'll say thank you.
And thank you so much, Megan and Kelly, for all of the work you guys do behind the scenes. Just wanted to also call that out as well.
Thank you.
Same to you, same to you. And Megan, you rock. So thank you. We are well represented at Roger Williams with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I love it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Happy
Thanks,
Thanksgiving.
Bye, everyone.